Good evening and welcome back to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. My name is Monty Martin and this is the weekly Dungeon Dudes 5th edition live stream campaign. I'll be running our game tonight as Dungeon Master and I'm joined with some fantastic players playing along with me tonight.
I'm Kelly McLaughlin playing Wilhelm Wolfsbane, the human swashbuckler rogue, and we're joined today by our other good friends.
Jill Denitis playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
Thank you for joining us once again. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and Kelly and I post new videos every Tuesday and every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. So check us out at youtube.com/DungeonDudes.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube. And if you'd like, you can follow along in our audio-only podcast, because all of season 1 and caught up with season 2 now is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. So make sure to check it out there as well.
And we are thrilled to announce that Dungeons of Drakkenheim is coming to Kickstarter this summer. Kelly and I have worked very hard over the past several months with our amazing partners at Ghostfire Games to compile all the campaign notes from Season 1 of Dungeons of Drakkenheim into a 5th edition adventure that you can run yourself with your friends. We have put together, we just handed off the first complete manuscript.
Yeah!
This is a real book. Like, this is not, we're going into this Kickstarter and the writing is, we're going to take it through playtesting and editing and all that good stuff. That's why we need to do a Kickstarter, so that we can actually, pay professional people to edit this and do all this amazing art and bring this whole thing to life. But we wrote it. It's ready. This is maybe a third of it. So you can head on over to Drakkenheim.com, sign up for a mailing list. We've been doing some previews of some material from the book in those messages. We thought I would preview something as well today, which are, I think it's quite relevant because it's actually come up in a lot. The actual rules for Delerium are in the book. So this is from the book. Delerium is a magical mineral left behind by the meteor. It appears in geode clusters of translucent, sharp-edged magical crystals which reflect octarine light. The eldritch stones softly hum in dissonant tones, and they glow brightly when exposed to magic. Deposits are found throughout Drakkenheim and elsewhere, and they are often found fused into the stone streets and growing off buildings like crystalline moss. So that you're wondering, a typical Delerium fragment is about the size of your finger. And crystals can be about the size of a fist or larger, and geodes can grow as large as pumpkins. But there are massive clusters that we saw in season 1, which can grow larger than humans themselves. Delerium has a market value, and it's categorized in 6 sizes. You've got chips, fragments, shards, crystals, geodes, and the massive clusters. And they range in value from 10 gold for a chip to 5,000 gold to priceless for geodes and massive clusters. And we actually break down what their armor class, what their hit points are, and how long it actually takes to extract Delerium once you've harvested. We actually have a system as well for a really quick skill challenge that your players can use. If your players just say, hey, we want to go into the city and just find Delerium. Well, we actually have a Delerium hunt mini quest in the book, so that if all your players want to do is just search Drakkenheim for Delerium, we made that into a really cool skill challenge with some random encounters, which is really, really fun. We're excited about that. Now, if you find Delerium, you should know that it is immune to necrotic, poison, and psychic damage, and it's immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons. It's resistant to almost everything else. So acid damage, cold damage, fire damage, and lightning damage, as well as slashing and piercing damage, even from magical weapons. It's resistant to those as well, but it is vulnerable to bludgeoning damage from magic weapons. And unless Delerium is under normal circumstances, if you destroy Delerium, it shatters and crumbles into worthless ash if you destroy a crystal. But geodes contain so much magic that when they're destroyed, they explode and release a random arcane anomaly.
When does that happen?
And of course, if you touch a Delerium shard, we've worded this very carefully because one of the things that I'm very aware of as a game master is all the ways that Delerium can be abused if it's weaponized in the field. So this is the particular wording. If you touch Delerium for the first time on a turn, you have to make a Constitution saving throw or take necrotic damage. So you can only suffer damage from Delerium once per turn. You can't suddenly from a specific shard, basically. And you obviously, if you fail the saving throw, you gain 1 level of contamination. So basically, if you're picking up a shard of Delerium, you can drop it, and if at the end of your turn you're still not touching it, you've got a little bit of a grace period. But it's otherwise pretty dangerous stuff to just touch it, right? So we kind of looked at that because in the original campaign there were so many shenanigans. With blowing up Delerium and touching Delerium and people giving feedback of could you do this with Delerium? So we wanted to keep a lot of the fun of that without making it something that was going to be a nightmare for dungeon masters that have really crafty players trying to do things. There's lots of crafty things. Watch out for ratlings using Delerium chips as sling bullets.
We've come across that.
Yeah, that sounds...
But yeah, and one of the cool things though about Delerium is that Delerium can be used as a spell component. So any spell that you can use a Delerium shard as an arcane focus for any arcane spell, and you can use an equal value of Delerium in place of any expensive spell component for sorcerer, warlock, and wizard spells. That's cool. And what's fun about that as well is that Delerium can also be used to make magic items, and it's actually really, really simple. Depending on the rarity of the item, that's how big of a shard you need. So if you want to make a legendary magic item, you can use a massive cluster of Delerium to power making that magic item. It's not necessarily used as part of the item. Sometimes the magical means of crafting items with Delerium mean that you actually extract the energy from the shards and imbue it into the item, or sometimes you build the shards into it as well. So basically, fragment shards and geodes can be used to make uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary items, respectively. We give the DM a little bit of leeway as to exactly how much Delerium is required for a magic item. It's always up to you to decide. And so any magic item can be made with Delerium, but we've made a bunch of cool new ones as well that you can craft for yourself. So that's a little bit of a preview of how we've refined Delerium for the book itself. We try to keep it mostly canon, but also make sure that when you're running this for yourself, your players can be creative with it, but it's not going to give you a nightmare.
And you have to backseat shoot it behind your main wizarding villain.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I would always say, and this is the thing that people forget, is that monsters in Drakkenheim are immune to contamination. So shooting Delerium at a monster is not a good idea. Shooting Delerium at another person is maybe a good idea, but if they turn into a monster as a result of getting killed, it might not be a pretty situation. So you gotta weigh that risk very, very carefully.
You solve one problem by creating another.
Hey, that's the motto of Drakkenheim. Exactly. So,
and the bears will eat the snakes, and life goes on.
Yeah. Now the good news though is that the arcane process for crafting magic items with Delerium require a character need to learn 5th level spells or higher, but the processes that have been developed by the Amethyst Academy, which your character can learn in other ways, render Delerium stable. So normally when Delerium is crafted into a magic item, it becomes stable and is no longer dangerous. But there's a couple ways of making delirium that doesn't become stable and still becomes a magic item. So you can make delirium safe by crafting it into a magic item to keep it simple, but there's a couple very volatile and dangerous new magic items that don't have that trait.
That's really cool.
With that, that's our little preview for what's coming up in the book this week. As always, let us know in the comments or in chat what you might want to hear about next. We're going to be doing these previews at the start of every episode from now through all the way through to the Kickstarter itself in the summer. So let us know what you want to hear in the next preview. But for now, let's return to the shadows.
Drakkenheim is no more. For 15 years, we foolishly believed the madness and mayhem of that crumbling city was confined to the ruins. We were wrong. Insidious horrors have crept out of the shadow of Drakkenheim into a world unprepared for such nightmares. Tales of strange magic, swirling haze, and unspeakable terrors echo through the villages and towns surrounding that accursed place. Now, the Dusk Wardens, a new band of heroes, are tasked with driving out the seeping tendrils of the spreading darkness before it takes root.
Welcome back to the Shadows of Drakkenheim. When last we left our heroes, they had secured the lighthouse just off the shores of Aschaffen in Ash Bay and met with the mysterious aged elf who was the lighthouse keeper, Valtar Banemoon. Discovering that Valtar Banemoon has lost most of his memories, but still his knowledge of magic, our characters are now planning their next move for how they are going to prevent the Duchess from claiming control of the strange gateway that is in the lighthouse tower. For her agent, the Cardinal, was here trying to use a delirium crystal to open up some kind of ritual. Our heroes defeated them, but what's the next move? You've taken some time to decompress, and I will say that you have had the opportunity to stay a night over in the lighthouse. Valtar Banemoon can make sure that you have accommodations and shows you that the stone the stone plinths that you discovered earlier, remember those in the very top tower? They were these stone platforms. Those are actually beds. You just literally sleep on air. They conjure air that holds you aloft, and you lay down upon a bed of air.
Air, the lightest mattress.
So soft.
It's like sleeping on a cloud.
This is arguably the best sleep that we have had since, nope, maybe ever. It's the best.
Do you slide off? Like, does the air, like, do you slowly
what's
fall off either way? Or
the magic in many of them has failed, but what Valtar Banemoon actually shows you is that these beds individually can conjure a similar effect to a tiny hut, that you are actually kept, like, it gives you privacy as well as comfort and safety while you sleep in them.
Very fancy.
Not used to quite the same lumbar support I get on this as just sleeping on my mattress at home.
It's kind of like being in a sensory deprivation tank. Like, you can really get into, like, because elves trance, they don't actually sleep. So for them, this kind of sleeping arrangement is quite ideal because they can get into a very deep state of trance.
Oh,
I imagine looking at one of the beds and you go to, like, lay on it and there's, like, a corpse in it. And you're like, okay, you just find it.
There's no bodies aside from the spirits and the floating skulls that you saw earlier. There wasn't much else. But in the part of the tower that is the lighthouse keeper's quarters, it's safe.
Well, there's also that table that makes food for us, so I assume that this is just the most pleasant awakening. We wake up in our nice, comfortable beds, our air beds. We walk out, we get whatever breakfast we desire, I'm ready to tackle about anything today.
So you still have one of the elite fish folk as a prisoner. That you've managed to barricade him and keep him. He is not in a good way when you check on him in the morning, having been out of the water now for almost half a day. Like his bits of flesh are molting off of this creature, and it does not look like it had a pleasant evening at all. As if keeping it out of water like this will kill it.
I think we forgot to leave him a glass of water or a bucket or something.
You thirsty?
You don't look so good.
This is inhumane. We should let this creature... Well, I mean, we just slaughtered all of his friends, but keeping him here where he slowly dies is doing him no favors.
Wilhelm is right. We must kill it.
No, we're going to deliver a message
it's the
with
humane
him.
way.
I thought we agreed that we would deliver a message with him.
I mean, he did hear a lot of our conversation, so Wrath, I get where you're coming from, but why did we bother to keep him alive if we were just going to kill him?
I believe plan A was to use him as some sort of messenger, although I feel as if he has his usefulness has dried up.
Wrath, did you make a joke? Look at you.
No, he seems dehydrated and
literally dried up. Oh, okay.
Yes, and it might be best that if this Duchess knows where this tower is, we cannot let it have any advantage. It already knows that the pool is here, and if it knows more about it, like us, the parameters of the defenses, about Voltar, I do not believe this information is worthy of being in its grasp. It should. This thing should die.
You don't think that the Cardinal has already given the Duchess all the information on this place? But
they've never been in here before.
The Cardinal was in here.
But the Cardinal only got in here because we opened up the barriers.
Yes.
So the first time they were trying to do the ritual.
And so if we close the barriers, how would they get back into the room with the pool?
If we trust the locks, then we may be able to spare its life. Although I see that the risk does not outweigh the guilt.
So we're
I have killed so many.
Keep them alive.
I have killed many of these abominations, and I will kill many more if it means protecting.
When it comes down to it, we did just fight our way through a lot of these guys. So, Wrath, I leave you in charge of the prisoner.
I may not have the means of killing it quickly. My plan would be to continue to dehydrate it.
If you need me to do it humanely, I can do it humanely.
if
that's our decision.
Rudy, if you may do the honors.
But how do we send a message to the Duchess?
Oh, yes, true. That was our plan, was to send it with this gentle fish right here.
Whether it be a warning or an invitation, we need some way to contact the Duchess.
As you deliberate, Voltar Banemoon asks, "What is this creature, this Duchess? Do you know where it comes from? Do you know what it is? Have you encountered it before? Does it have other servants?"
We've encountered it in our minds. We think we heard it when we were in the cave yonder near the town.
A cave?
Yeah.
What was it in the cave? What was it doing there?
Well, its baby was there, some sort of monsterish fish creature, but we could hear what we assumed was the Duchess talking to us in our minds.
And you invaded this cave?
We did, yeah. And there was a ritual site there with very contaminated water.
And there's a town nearby, you said?
Oh yeah, Aschaffen. Just across a few miles.
Remnants.
You have killed many of this creature's servants.
It's true. We have, but
Thank you.
out of mainly necessity because they were trying to also turn us into one of its servants using Delerium.
It might... If you wanted to just send a message, you've sent it. It's... This creature has done... It desires the Delerium. Yes, it uses it. It created these creatures.
Yes.
That's true.
It will probably try to kill you.
It has every reason to hate us. It offered us back in Dransmund. Its servants offered us to join, and we used the illusion that we would join to get us close to them, and then we murdered our way through them in order to find the Duchess.
Considered that even now, leaving this tower, you might be vulnerable outside now. This creature, if it has this ability to communicate at distance, it could be watching you. It could know where you are. It could see where you are. That's not outside the realm of its possible power. You might not be able to hide from it.
Well,
Now I have this fear of Voltar, and it is much more clear what we need to do. We need to confront this creature. It will not stop until it either has us in its control or we are killed. We are the one thing stopping it from amassing its army.
perhaps if we look at our original plan, it is true that a message has already been sent. The Duchess has every reason to come after us. And I'm actually hoping that its rage will drive it towards us. I think that our best move then, we don't want it to gain the lighthouse. And actually, I still say we stick to the plan, but there is an alternate plan B. It's always good to have a plan B. Not a rule, just a fact.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe it should be.
You
If
can add it later.
we are in danger even leaving this place, it means that we should make haste and try to head to Aschaffen as quickly as possible, because I still think getting the Silver Order's numbers on our side is beneficial. If we get attacked in the water, we need to still continue to lure that attack away from the lighthouse and towards Aschaffen. By drawing the Duchess out and towards the docks, we're just going to have to hope that the Silver Order is there. If the battle comes to us before we're ready, I think it's still beneficial for us to try to bring the numbers in.
Lure them out of their element. Get them on fair ground for both of us. That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
Now, taking the water could be dangerous. I don't know how many people can fit on the back of a wyvern, but there is one upstairs that might be willing to listen to me.
There's a wyvern and Wrath. Can you fly? I mean, if you fly me, I can carry you across the water. If we can get the wyvern at least.
This is true. Well, if we use the wyvern, we could make it there quicker. Although
Yeah.
we must find a way to contact this order.
It's also not outside the realm of possibility for you to head back on land. The lighthouse is not too far from shore, so rather than sailing, you could go on. You could hoof it on foot along the cliffs and make it back to Aschaffen if that was your direction. Because remember, you came to the lighthouse directly from Dransmund, so you can fly Aschaffen.
Oh, it connects via land?
So the lighthouse is off the shore.
Yeah.
Right? So it is, but not far off the shore. Like, you can, during low tide, you could probably ford the coast, ford along to get to the coast. Like, that's how close it is. So it's very, very swimmable. Like, you can see the lighthouse from the coast. That's why people call it the lighthouse, because it functionally, it seems like that's what it would be with where it's built.
It's not too far off.
Rudy, you're the tactical genius of this group. What do you think? We have land, we have sea, or we have air. There is also the possibility that one of us takes the air, while the other two take another option. And one of us operates as a lookout. There is also the option that we stick together. But what do we think? We need to basically move quickly from here to Aschaffen and attempt to draw the Duchess out.
What does the Duchess want?
The Duchess wants access to this pool.
Yeah.
But the Duchess also wants us dead. We killed its...
We assume.
Well...
We killed a lot of its followers. And
I don't know about you, but it was yelling some horrible things when we murdered its child. And now we've killed its right hand. We've ruined its... Whatever was happening in this tower has been ruined by us. We have dismantled its ritual. We have thwarted it at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that brings rage to this creature, and I can tell from the voices that were in my head that it seems enraged.
I agree, as any mother would feel when their baby was killed. I think we need to be real cautious. I say, if we can avoid the water, avoid the water. Again, keep it out of its element. And Wilhelm, I agree on the idea. If one of us can get above, or even if we all want to go via land and we send Houdini up to keep an eye out, we could do it that way too. If I don't know about that wyvern. If you can tame it again,
if it is a
definitely go for it. But it was
capable
a bit
vehicle,
it was a bit of a
that would
attitude.
only prove useful. But
I
don't
can't
lose
guarantee
your
that
other eye trying to mount it.
I'm very careful. Well, we could always see what the situation is as we head out.
And we should lock up behind us.
Lock everything up behind us and tell Mr. Banemoon here to keep guard. And is there I'm going to ask this to Banemoon. Is there a means of you contacting us should something happen?
I can, of the few spells that are still in my memory, I can contact you with my magic.
Do you also have a spell that immediately brings us to you? I don't know how magic works, so I'm just guessing. Do you have a spell that kills fish?
That was a big sigh.
I once knew many spells, from the excellent prismatic spray to the Fandel's mantle of stealth. But in my mind now, there is very little that I can still muster up. There's enough to protect myself, a few cantrips, and yes, if I have to rub my fingers together, I think I might be able to conjure up a fireball.
Oh,
but I would rather protect. But I would rather keep myself in hiding if I have to.
Wrath, is this quite common that all Amethyst Academy mages or spellcasters in general just kind of know like one or two spells that might be helpful sometimes and otherwise don't know how to cast fish death?
It's probably because his cat hasn't imbued him with the knowledge of the cosmos. If he had a trusty companion and teacher and lord, he would be much more capable.
As capable
Valtar
as you.
Baymoon replies and says, It's always the using magic to kill is but a fraction of what magic is capable of. magic can create life. Magic can create new ideas. Magic can allow us to do things so much more than just killing each other.
Ilan, you can do the old-fashioned way. And I hold up my axe.
It's got fresh fish blood on it.
Although what I understand rings true with what you've said, I will say that when you're facing an army of fish people led by a mysterious duchess, magic that kills might be beneficial. But as long as you can contact us should something go wrong, at least we have a warning.
Indeed. Safe travels. I will keep this lighthouse here, and if you are able to destroy this enemy, I would invite you and any of your allies back here, certainly.
Of course, you may not see us right away, but
Thank you.
definitely members of the Academy. The river herself might be along their way. And I point to Wrath and his cloak, and they look like that. Trust them if they have that cloak.
What was our passphrase we came up with for River when she arrives? We came up with a secret word. Noodles.
Is it noodles?
Let's say it was, because I can't find that.
I forget it, but it was noodles.
Yeah.
It was when a person dressed in my robes approaches with the word noodles, they're speaking friend in the common tongue.
All right.
Sounds good to me. So you're going to take the coast and then travel back down on foot. Correct? Okay. So it's easy enough to take your boat. Getting out of the tower is a little bit of an ordeal. But your wyvern is still there, and you can take 2 trips and fly the wyvern down and ferry everyone back to shore. It gets a little bit ornery though after that. Do you want to continue bringing it with you, or what?
Let this creature free.
You know what? Yeah, I unlatch, because they had him chained up again. I unlatch the chains. I throw Bitey some food.
I give him the leg. I hand you the leg of the fish person from earlier.
Oh wait, did we kill the fish person?
I did.
Oh yeah, we should feed him him.
All right.
Great idea, Wilhelm. That was your idea, Wilhelm.
Take credit where credit is due. So
you leave Bitey on the shores of the high cliffs overlooking the lighthouse as it noshes down on your fishfolk prisoner.
And I give him a nice pat on the head, and I say, "You've been a good boy, Bitey, but it's time for us to part ways. Perhaps I'll see you again in another life."
Very well. You walk down along the cliffs, and the walk that you take actually has you pass the ruined well where you escaped the other cove, and you pass the cove as well. The flotilla of boats that was left behind is gone.
That was our floating city.
And as you head down along the cliffs towards Aschaffen, as you come down the cove, you see in the distance through the mists, there is a cog ship anchored just off Aschaffen. So this is a single square-sailed ship. It's not a large one by any means, but one that would normally be used by traders and travelers. And and as you come into the area, you actually see. At first, you think, "Oh, maybe that's a bird." But then you realize from the distance that if it's a bird, it's a really huge bird, because given where it is in relation to the size of it in relation to the ship, it would be a big bird. And the Aschaffen is there's several torches and a large bonfire lit in Aschaffen, and you can see the cliffs of Aschaffen kind of is nestled in around the cliffs, and there's the chapel of the sacred fire that it overlooks the town itself, and you can see the smoke rising from the chapel.
Well,
Smoke is
looks
in like from the chimney, or smoke as in the building is on fire?
Smoke from the dome. So chapels of the sacred fire are all circular buildings with domes, and so the central dome usually has an opening from which smoke can rise up. Usually there's kind of like a decorative piece that opens up and the smoke kind of pours out from all the sides.
It appears our friends have already arrived. I guess the plan is working so far.
Is it who we expect?
If they're in the church, it's either some sort of odd religious ceremony or the Silver Order. Or
Now the
both.
question is, do we approach them as ourselves, or do we let Wrath do his magic and
Well-
get in there as, say, Aubin or
If we're-
Steve, I think was the other.
If we're going along with the plan, then the idea was to fool the Silver Order into protecting us?
Maybe temporarily illusion.
The disconnect between the Amethyst Academy and the Silver Order prevents me from showing my true self, unlike you two. This alias, Stephen Hodges, may be our best bet to converse with them in a more formal way, without the falling out of colors clouding the negotiation.
Is it important that if time is of the essence, because again, we don't know where the Duchess is or when she's coming, is it important that one of us goes to talk to the Silver Order while the other two set up and try to fortify and find a vantage point? I believe that was the original plan, but I'm willing to diverge if things seem more pressing.
Looking down from where you see, there's a fair bustle of activity in town. People are moving about. There's bonfires. If the Silver Order is in town, the town is so small that you won't even be able to walk into the town without them noticing. And an attempt to fortify, like, because with the what you can see is that the cog ship is there, and there's people actually you see a very awkward sight of several people trying to load a horse onto a boat and boat it back towards shore.
My friends, I think we should move swiftly. Although Voltar may have driven fear into us, I do not believe the Duchess is upon us. Although that time might be narrowing, I think we should tell the Silver Order, as far as we know about this creature and its intention for the town that lay before it, the people that were once inhabitants of it, and where the Delerium may lay at the bottom of the sea.
Well, I would say maybe her lair rather than Delirium. It might be one and the same, but I would say as much as we can leave Delirium out of the conversation and warn of the danger of more monsters, that might be a little bit more advantageous towards our goal of letting the Academy know that that's here.
Okay.
And definitely leaving the Lighthouse out of it, for sure.
What lighthouse? Exactly.
Raph, it's that building that we were just in.
Stop him. Stop him.
You know, you can see the lighthouse from Aschaffen.
You just won't draw
There's no
attention to
lighthouse.
it. Just don't draw attention to it.
It's an illusion. It's delirium.
We can talk about maybe going to the cave and what we saw there rather than what we saw at the lighthouse, if they want to know how we know all this information.
Yeah, like it's a fair trek. Like it's a few hours walk to get there from Aschaffen, but the lighthouse is a huge building. It's visible from well over, like, probably you could see it from over a day's walk away.
Well, maybe I know that even as a lowly pirate, adventurer, sailor person, that, you know, we could not let this evil go unchallenged in Aschaffen. Us three brave sailors turned mercenaries to turn the tide of good against evil.
Maybe adventurers, not mercenaries. That's negative. We're
A lot of negative connotation. Yeah.
Let's
Good call, Rudy.
adventurers. I'm just thinking the paladins are
do-gooders.
going to think we're do-gooders. Yes.
We are traveling do-gooders here to help.
Yes. We were not dissuaded by our previous experience.
We saw fish people shedding human skin, and that was enough to become involved in the situation.
And I mean, not a lie.
Not lie. We're not lying.
Rule number 8, a man is only as good as his word, and I plan to stick to mine. So I'll see what I can do. But
Okay. So how would you like to head into town?
Openly.
are
Okay.
you
Where-
there, Steve?
Do we see if there's
I'll be
like a
Steven.
bigger
Duchess.
congregation of the Silver Order?
By the docks.
All right. I say we head
Yeah.
to the docks right away.
But as you get close, there's a lot of activity at the docks, but it seems that up the cliff path at the chapel, there's a lot of activity there as well.
I would say docks just in case the Duchess decides to come on in and ambush these folks, and then maybe we can head to the chapel after.
If there's,
We must
yeah.
try to find
There's
the knight captain.
All right. Stephen, is it? Yes.
Stephen Hodges.
Stephen Hodges, you are going to leave the talking to you, so I don't have to lie too much.
Okay. So nestled in along the cliffs of Ash Bay, Aschaffen is a miserable little fishing village that is constantly wet and constantly muddy. There's several waterlogged wooden docks and piers stretching out, forming, and notably, almost all the other boats in town are gone now. And as you wandered through the village before, you noticed that many of the buildings were in states of disrepair or disuse. You recall, the tavern seemed partially abandoned. Aside from the abode of pardon?
Aubin?
Yeah, Aubin, who has his shack up against the base of the cliff. You are in the haze as well. And so you come down the cliff and into in through town, and almost immediately as you head into town, you can each roll me a d6.
6.
5.
Okay. As you head into town, you immediately catch sight of a familiar person. For a group of Silver Order knights, there's 3 of them mounting up on horseback, and they are talking to a familiar-looking woman. She is a flaxen-haired knight captain Gloria Hackfield, who you met at the Emerald Inn all that while ago. And you hear her saying, she says, "I want you to ride inland, see where you find the edge of the haze, then report back. We'll make our base camp there." And as you come in, she says, she has a very surprised look on her face, and she says, "Well, I'll be."
Gloria.
Hello, Gloria.
Well, flames burn me. Well, aren't you the folk that I feel like I met you somewhere before?
Twice
Old
we met.
friends.
Once at the
Emerald Inn?
Emerald Inn, and then not too long ago.
In Transmond.
The names.
You seem to get yourselves all into all kinds of trouble. You're okay. You don't look like you're sick or anything this time. What are you doing here?
As you know, we were quite contaminated when we left Aschaffen the last time. That is when you last saw us. We were sick and we were deeply troubled by what we saw.
And we came here to investigate, and now you're here again.
We could not let it go unturned. We are do-gooders of the highest order, and we plan on ending the evil that is in Aschaffen. We have information that might be helpful.
Really? Well, you should have said so sooner. Come on, let's chat. Let me bring you back. She turns to the knights that are going out. No, you stay. Go. No, go, not stay. Find the edge of the haze. Go. You three, well, come on with me. Let's talk about this. I gotta say, fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You seem like alright people, but what's going on, really? Tell me here, cause I gotta know. You've shown up now in a very auspicious way at a very auspicious time. So, what are you doing here?
When we were here and we were attacked, it was by the locals. Have you met any locals since you have arrived in Aschaffen?
Yes, we have. We've got him secured now.
Him.
Well, there was one man, he seems addled, but he's alright. And there's a few who are not okay.
They may not be who you think they are.
Did they have more gills than you were expecting?
No, they had just as many as we were expecting.
Well, then you're prepared.
There's something evil here in Ash Bay, and I mean to get rid of it.
And that is why we are here, because we originally came following a series of clues that led us to this bay, because we are trying to solve the problems down in Transmond that were occurring. I'm sure perhaps you've heard of the murders that were going on there. Lots of people went missing.
Yes, I have.
Well, as do-gooders, it's our job to investigate people going missing and things of that nature. And this mystery has led us here, and there is something evil coming. We can agree to that. And we want to make sure that we can help you get rid of it. And if we are the ones who can tip the scales in your favor by adding our support, then I think all the better.
Well, hold on now. You're going to have to catch me up a little bit here, because you know something I don't.
Yes.
Because I've known people been going missing around here. And I've known that people been finding delirium washing up on the shores of Ash Bay. And there's some people that are not right anymore. People that have been changed by it. People that have been changed into, well, the water's taken them. That's all I can say. The deep, dark depths. That's somewhere where the flame cannot shine. You know what I mean? That's an evil place. It's a dark place.
Some information that perhaps we didn't tell you because we were still piecing it together. We were contacted by a being. Seems to be some sort of duchess of the fish people.
Duchess.
That's
Leader.
what it seems to call itself, or at least that's also what the minions refer to it as.
Huh.
Now, we may have encountered its offspring, and
Offspring.
we ended the offspring.
These people don't have their minds anymore.
No.
It's like they're under the spell of something else. Are you saying it's this Duchess creature?
What we
Yes.
surmised seems to be that she's brought them into her horde and changed them somehow using delirium. And
Is this thing created the delirium? Is that where it came from? Did it bring it here?
that we don't know.
It has some kind of supply that it uses. We saw a rudimentary, smaller operation in Dransmond within the sewers where they were changing people into these fish folk. And it has only been amplified getting out here in Ash Bay.
I've known that this delirium can kill, but it does far worse things too to those who are really unlucky. Death is a blessing for some compared to what happens. And it's strange, I tell you, that so many folk we've encountered, they all have the same mutations, like they're turning into fish. Yeah?
Yeah.
We've been all too happy to lend them towards their deaths because there was no bringing them back, or what we would know.
So you're saying this Duchess is controlling them?
It appears that way.
They do its bidding.
Well, where's it hiding? Where is it? Where is this lair?
It is close.
We have assumptions that it's somewhere in the water, which is why we can't go to fight it on its terms. But my hope is that by killing its offspring, dismantling the ritual, which is something that was going on, we encountered some sort of magical anomaly when we fought them, and that's when you first met us, second met us, when we were contaminated and injured. It was because of the fight that we encountered them in. Now, we killed enough of them that this Duchess should be riled up. What
You
we're hoping.
killed enough of them. Well, this village has been empty. Did you slaughter all the people in this village?
That's
We
such
fought-
a
People?
loaded
I wouldn't
question.
call them people anymore.
We went
Monsters is
fishing.
what they were.
We went fishing for a while here.
This is a fishing
We-
village.
The flame teaches us that you offer mercy to the repentant. But what's happened to these people? They're far beyond the pale of what we can do. I talked with the Flamekeeper, Ophelia Reed. She's here, up the chapel. Whatever darkness has taken these folk, the only light that they might find again is in death. Hopefully, their souls will be able to make it to the place where dawn breaks over the shadow. And they'll be fine, but I don't think that no one's ever heard of any way of reversing this or getting them back to the way they used to be. Once you are past a certain point, it's too late.
That was our assumption as well, and we did so out of self-defense. We were following the clues, and it led us into a horrible situation, and we fought our way out.
It's not a proud thing to do what you had to do.
No.
We're not proud of what we had to do. Folk in the Silver Order have had to do things. We know this. It's a stain on the conscience. But that's the price of being the one who carries the torch of justice and light, is that sometimes your body and your soul is the one that's burned by it.
I think all we can do is provide the best mercies for these folk and to hope that their souls find the light. But it's hard to tell if they're in there at all from what we've seen.
Now,
This blight, this plague, it will not end by killing those that are innocent or ignoring and waiting for this creature to amass its army again. We must destroy this evil where it lives. Although
we have no means of getting underwater.
we may not be able to reach it, but if we can bring it to us, we need your help.
Well, that's the biggest problem then, isn't it? Is we're gonna have to... This creature is... If it's got delirium under the water, but one problem at a time. If we... Do you know where it is? How can we draw it out? Listen, if you want to work with us, if you'll draw swords with us, we'll fight alongside you. If you know where this thing is, I'll muster up all my men now, and we'll go, and we'll take it on. We'll do it together.
I think that's best. I do have a pocket ballista. I hope that can be of service. Perhaps... Do we have any ideas on how to draw it out, though? I think that if we can try to prepare for a battle, it'll give us the upper hand. And
We'll say that we have done enough damage to this Duchess's followers that she might be looking for, and I gesture to us, our crew, to get revenge for some reason. So we may not have to go to it. It might come to us. And if we can draw it out of its element, that might give us the best chance of getting rid of it.
So you're proposing using yourselves as bait for catching this big old fish?
Gotta use some good bait to catch a big fish. So why not?
I do have a thought. If we are the bait, Knight Commander, how fast is your ship?
If the wind's blowing in its favor, it can get a good clip. But, we got some of our boys are part of the Illyrian Navy, so we got some good sailors on board, and we can bring it back to shore pretty quick, or take it further out. It all depends on what the wind says.
Well, if we account for the wind and it works in our favor, it's risky, but I would be willing to sail out with a group of Silver Order Knights. If the two of you would like to come with me, then by all means, but I do not want to put this on you. We sail out, we draw the Duchess out, and bring it back to Aschaffen. Or we wait here and hope that the Duchess finds us herself.
Well,
If we sail out, it will be looking for new recruits. It will send those that it needs. It will try to drag your men down to the depths.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can catch it, if we can stop it, we can end this blight in Aschaffen.
all right. Well, then, if that's what you're the ones that came in here with this information. I don't know what to think, to be honest, but you seem like your hearts are in the right place. This is a big risk, but we're out here, and I'll be honest, we ain't got much of a lead better than that. So you just handed us a big break. saying that there's some creature that we can kill, a monster. Hell, that gives us a real objective. That gives us something we can actually fight. And if we can get rid of it, maybe that's a start. Maybe we can start cleaning up around here and actually do something. But make sure that the people are safe. So, I say let's do it.
Now, of course, we understand. We haven't been the most forthcoming since we've met. But our hearts are in the right place. And, of course, you have to make your decisions for your men, your safety. But I think if we can work together, both of us coming together, is going to be the best chance we have to take this monster down.
All right. Let's do it. If so you want us to, you think that this thing's got a grudge out on you for what you've done, and you want to use yourselves as bait. Is that the plan here?
I mean, if it doesn't have a grudge, there must be something that it.
If it doesn't have a
mind
grudge
losing.
now, it will. We can.
Well, rule number 34: no one is above temptation, and I believe that we can tempt the Duchess out with revenge.
All right then. Well, if you're going to be the bait, then what's the trap?
Well, Knight Captain, do you mind if we find lodgings while you continue to find your ground? I overheard you were looking for a place to camp outside of the haze. Is that true?
Yes, I've sent some of my knights out to see if we can find the edge of this where we can make a campsite, because we're not going to be able to rest here.
Well, we do know it's a few miles, and I point in the direction that we went, that we know it is.
It is quite a far way.
What is our trap, though? We lure the Duchess back, and then what?
We
Indeed.
have to come up with a plan.
All right.
While you continue to bring in your resources, we will find lodgings and come back with a plan to
Shall we
lure
go
this
to-
Duchess out.
Shall we go to Aubyn's place?
Yeah, we can go to
Aubyn.
Aubyn's old place.
You mean the old hermit? He's not in a good way. We've got him up with the chapel. Ophelia Reed's been talking to him. He's one of the few people that would actually talk to us.
He's one that he helped us when we were here.
Knight Commander, how many soldiers do you have here?
I've got a dozen knights with me, and another 24 men-at-arms and squires. We got a pair of Griffin riders, myself and my knight lieutenant, and so all said about 30 folks.
Anybody skilled with archery?
Well, those of us that take to the sky were pretty good with a javelin, and we got pretty good shot from above, but not really our strong suit, I gotta say. We're much more of an up close and personal, if you understand my meaning.
Well, as long as you and your soldiers are willing to get wet, I suppose that will have to do.
We got spears and lances, though.
I do come with a bit of artillery, so I might position myself if there's a house or somewhere that I can set up for some heavy shots to be delivered. That might be part of the plan.
Let's survey the sat then. Let me show you around town, and you see what you think you want to set up here. So I'll just show you this, and you guys can think about this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the docks of Dransmond. Or not Dransmond, sorry, Aschaffen. So we'll just zoom out a little bit here so you can see the whole area. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of the three main piers. And then it goes back, and then there's the town itself a little bit further up. So this is kind of what the main area of town looks like.
This
Right.
building on the docks.
Yeah.
What's like? How many stories is it? Does it have windows?
It is a miserable, rickety storage building that is leaning to one side, and is mostly used for basically as a shack for repairs and tools that are used to manage the boat. So it's basically your boathouse, right? It's a single story building. That's the whole thing. All these docks are partially sinking into the water, right? The tide does change that a little bit, but none of these things are in good shape. The boats that are left behind here, take on water really fast, but they're serviceable, right? The shore continues out a little bit to either side beyond this. So there's a bit of a rocky shore as well, on either side. And then there's the town center proper, that I can show you as well if you want to bring things closer to land. So, the town center, basically, which is directly north of the previous map, is this. Right, so you can see again, many of the buildings are just in a horrible state of repair, right? And then so, and sorry, I kind of misspoke here, because north on the map, like up on these maps, would actually be east. So north would be to the left hand side on our maps here, right? So this kind of shows you the lay of the area, and then north is where the cliffs go up. So there's a section of cliff that leads up to where the Chapel of the Sacred Fire is. There's kind of a switchback path that goes up along the cliff and takes you up there.
Well, last question, Knight Commander. Do you have any explosives?
We got some fire, yeah.
I'm trying to think of clever ways that we could turn this surrounding area into a more beneficial battleground for us. And I'm wondering if we can rig some of the boats with explosives and set them out into the bay so that if creatures emerge, we might be able to...
We could set them on fire, but anything that we have, we wouldn't be able to time the explosion. We could pack them full of. We haven't brought much in the way of our explosives. This is the area. Basically, this map is if you wanted to pull things away from town, right? So it's a little bit brighter than the other ones, but yeah.
Rudy, you were in the military, correct?
Correct.
Planning an attack should be right up your alley. I won't lie. I have read about it. I've been in a few battles, but as for planning, I think I would lean on your better judgment of what you think the plan should be.
Well, I mean, I was a leader of a squad, but we were mainly a bit more stealthy, regardless of my abilities. We would go in a bit, so I'm used to a little bit more of a smaller squad to command. But what I'm thinking is that if we can somehow draw them in, I like your idea of some sort of fire or explosives to get their attention and get them on land. And potentially, if we can get some ships to surround them, we could charge them from both the water as well as the land.
So once they emerge, we send boats out to block their escape.
I mean, they could go under, but having fire from all sides could be something that's to our advantage.
Gloria Hackfield speaks up. You know, we don't have much in the way of crack shots, but we do have enough people that we do have bows and we do have arrows, and we could pack the boats full of whatever kindling we can, send them out, anchor them, and just light them up. They're not going to explode, but they are going to create a flame break.
Yeah. Create that barrier so that way we draw them in and they have to come to us.
At least that way, at least that way, if they try to, they're boxed in a little bit, and they're gonna have to swim out pretty far again, get underwater, and get attacked. That way, we've at least got them trapped in place while we do what we gotta do.
Did you bring any nets with you?
There's nets here in town. There's fishing nets.
We could drop some nets into the water once we know they're there, and potentially, if anyone's got any oil, we could use that too.
So, I like this idea of lighting the boats on fire. Where should we position our troops, though? That's the next question. We light the boats on fire. We block their exit. We use nets to try to tangle them up. But we have 2 Griffin riders, 12 soldiers, and the 3 of us. I have a ballista at my disposal. Raph has magic. And Rudy, you're a cunning commander, so...
Well, if you want my honest opinion, I think if it were me on the other way around of it, if I was some beastie that was out to kill you 3, and I saw a pair of Griffin riders and 24 other armored soldiers, I wouldn't even bother. I'd just wait. So I think the best place for all us is in these buildings.
Agreed.
Well out of sight. Because I think not to give you any bad news, but I think your best bet in luring this thing out is that if it doesn't know we're here.
I agree.
Agreed. Bait won't work if you could see the hook, so let's make sure that the bait is visible, but the hook comes out once they take it back.
All right. So if we bring him in, reel it in, set a light to those boats, and then at that point we'll charge in and try to hold off whoever can. Do we know that this thing isn't going to come with a bunch of friends?
It might, but that's why we have numbers. Now, I thought of another idea. There's a lot of rope here. A lot of rope. And if I build my ballista, perhaps in the boathouse, pointing... Is there a window in the boathouse, I should ask?
Oh, so you want to make like a netted pillbox that's camouflaged?
Well,
with the net, and yes, if you want to conceal your position in the boathouse with the ballista, with the window, you could totally knock out the window and do that.
Cool. I'm thinking that, but then also if we get ropes tied to the ballista bolt and the other end tied, I know that the dock seems pretty rough, but if we can find the sturdiest place to tie off the other end of the rope, if I can hit the Duchess with a ballista bolt attached to a rope, it anchors the Duchess in...
So you want to harpoon the Duchess and reel it in to shore to kill it.
That would be the ideal goal.
I think if we're doing it by the docks, if I'm out as far as I can go on the docks, maybe on land, see if that works. If not, I am willing to take out a boat if I need to, because I can row pretty fast.
You say you got a ballista?
Yes, and I hold up my crossbow and a little pack that I have with me. Yes.
Well, that's a fancy contraption if I ever saw one.
I agree. I'm excited to use it.
With a bit of work, we have a ballista on the cog as well. We have one. We could probably fit them with some good rope and some chain and some harpoons and set up both. And if we harpoon this thing with 2 and set enough people together to haul it in, we might be able to bring it on shore.
This is starting to sound like a plan.
Steven, what do you think?
In Rudy's mind, I want to say, do we tell her about the cave? There may be something in there that will help lure this creature to us, but it also may reveal the position of, well, there's a Hydra in there, but also the beginnings of the Elven ruins.
I can't say anything back, can I?
No.
Steven, Rudy just asked you a question. You're just standing there. What?
I say into Will.
I kind of go like this, like across my throat, like, what do you think? And then I'm like, no.
Knight Captain, this seems like a great ambush place. If we can hide and attack, as Wilhelm and Rudy have said, although I am concerned that our bait still does not exist.
Steven. Sorry, it's a nickname I gave him because he gets angry a lot.
He gets angry.
I got a rash. He said rash. I got a bad neck rash from the delirium.
Right. Old rashy Steven. Listen, I think I have a job for you.
I'm hesitantly listening.
You're going to stand on the end of the dock, and
Great.
you're going to yell a
Awesome.
lot.
Okay.
That's great.
I'll be there to support you, though.
Appreciate that, Rudy. The reason is that this creature has always sent its lackeys, its underlings, to do its bidding. We need something enticing to make it come from its lair. What do we offer to it other than our lives?
Well, it wants delirium. Is there any delirium that we can entice it with?
Hey, Captain, do you have any sources of this crystal, this power?
No, we've been destroying everything that we find.
Have you ever lured creatures of this like this before?
You're the ones that saying it wants to kill you. You're just gonna have to go rile it up. If it's out in the water, we could take you out on the boat, on the cog, and sail it back into shore with you behind it.
Dragging in the water, like putting our scent in the in the water. Come get us.
So, what does this thing do? Can this thing? We don't know what it's capable of. We only know, for all we know, it could be planning to come back here and attack us at any minute.
Right. Then I think if I put all this together, we're going to set up multiple ballistas with harpoons. We are going to hide the Silver Order Knights in the various houses. Steven, Rudy, and myself will sail out to lure the Duchess here. We're going to rig several boats with kindling, which once we get back to the docks, we will set ablaze and throw them out onto the water to block the escape and create a firewall. Once that is done and we are back on the docks safely, we spring the trap, we fire the harpoons, we unleash the knights, and we kill the Duchess. Does that sound like I have it straight?
What does this create? So, I assume that you've shared a description of what you think the Duchess looks like.
We've only seen it kind of in a watery form, so
kind of like a nightmare, like a waking nightmare.
Yes,
it sounds horrible. What if it sends its? What do we do if it sends its minions first?
We kill him.
Do you want us to hold our position, or do you want to handle them themselves?
I think
you should stay hidden.
If we are overwhelmed, of course we'll need their help. That was the idea behind having the connection and the numbers. But I would say let's have a code word. Let's have a word or some sort of signal that we can put up that brings y'all out. That we can say when we...
we can change the flag on the ship Or
I can
some
fire
kind
up
of-
a firebolt in the air.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So what? The only thing I think is that that we should probably have our team hiding in the boathouse with the other ballista, and it should be your ballista out in the open if you're gonna fire it.
All right.
Right, if you're gonna be the one to shoot that.
Now,
Right.
it takes me a little bit to build the ballista, right?
Yeah.
So technically, I'm going to have to leave my crossbow behind when we go out on the water.
Or are you
Uh,
going to take it with you on the water?
The ballista's more worthwhile being a harpoon, I think, in this instance.
Do you have a backup crossbow?
I do. I have a regular crossbow.
The regular, yeah, your everyday,
Yeah.
sacred.
So
crossbow.
where do you want to set up yours? Because if the Silver Order sets theirs up in the boathouse with several of their warriors,
You know,
right?
if we have, they have one ballista, or is this both of theirs?
They have one, and
Okay.
you have the other. So the I'm using these to represent the ballistas.
Mhm.
How does the end of this dock look? Dilapidated and horrible?
As pictured.
It is as pictured, but it's still stable. Like, it's usable. It just could be easily damaged. It's not going to collapse by someone walking on it. It's just not strong.
Maybe I won't set it out. Maybe just like almost where you had it, like right here.
Okay.
Now,
The rope
think,
you could tie off to like a tree or something too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm
Or
gonna
like a
tie like the
building.
rope off to like the tree back here. Make sure that I have a long. Like, I'm gonna find a bunch of ropes. I'm gonna sailors tie them together.
and the Griffin Riders. I mean, if we think about the boats being set on fire, could the Griffin Riders light them as soon as we get the boats out there on fire?
Gloria says, I'm one of the Griffin Riders.
Gloria,
So
ready to set these boats aflame?
we will be the ones that do that.
Okay.
We'll do that, and then when you give the signal by shooting a firebolt straight upwards, that'll be the sign for the rest of the. So when you fire your firebolt straight up, that will be the signal for us to light the boats on fire and the rest of the knights to attack.
All right.
Well, with all that in place, I think this is a good moment for us to take our break. And we are back from our break. Let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. Alrighty. So, to summarize, in the dingy, watery waste of Aschaffen, you and the Silver Order have now concocted a plan to draw the Duchess out into a trap. In summary, to make sure that I understand correctly, this is your plan. The Silver Order is going to hide in the homes and buildings that are just off the edge of the water. Okay? Mm-hmm. So as we can see here, this is the assembled force of the Silver Order that is here. Okay? Basically, there's 6 knights with their individual soldiers at arms. And so they will... one group will man the ballista here, and then the others will each hide out in individual buildings. Knight Commander Gloria Hackfield introduces you to Flamekeeper Tess. She is a young, freckled and frizzy-haired Flamekeeper who offers to cast a few spells on you all to help you out. She will cast Aid using a 3rd level spell slot on you all, so that'll give you each raise your hit point maximums by 10. And because of the Silver Order's organization and blessings, you are all going to be affected by the Bless spell for the duration. There's enough of the knights that you'll be able to be blessed, and so you'll have a D4 added to your attack rolls and saving throws.
Woo!
Nice.
So it was bless and aid, right?
Yeah. And so, Gloria Hackfield and her Sir Andrews, who is the other Sky Cavalier, the two of them are going to go up to the cliffs, and they will swoop down when they get the signal.
Yes.
And Flamekeeper Tess herself, she has healing spells ready. So she will be camping out in this building here if there is an emergency as well. So those are the positions that the Silver Order will take up. So Gloria Hackfield kind of commands them all around, and then she's going to mount up on her griffin and get into position herself. The only other question is, are you going to take the cog, the larger boat, or a smaller boat to lure the Duchess out?
I say we go fast.
Which boat is the fastest? Is the bigger boat
the cog? Okay, the cog will depend on the wind, and so what I will have you all do is roll me a d6.
2.
5.
Okay. The wind is currently not ideal. It is blowing. The way that the wind is blowing is, rather than away from shore or towards shore, it's kind of going like in a generally southeastern direction. Now, a skilled sailor can still sail into the wind and catch the wind. So the boat is not going to like clip back, but it's not impossible. It's just not ideal.
Is there strong wind? Like, what are the waves like?
The wind is strong as you go further out to the shore. So, but it's just not in the best direction.
So sounds like we might be rowing. Rudy, are you?
With the cog ship, you don't row a cog.
Yeah, but if the wind's not in our favor, then we'll.
I was thinking too, it might be
boat.
too big for us. Like, it seems like the cog ship might require more hands to operate.
Yes, they would send you with their crew to crew it. Yeah.
Whereas if we took a smaller ship, even though it puts us at more risk, at least it's just the 3 of us.
Yeah. Like there's a smaller like cav ship, a smaller sailing ship that is in serviceable condition that you can take out, and fly and get it out, and yeah, you know, it's going to move at a reasonable enough speed, but it's not going to be super fast.
Well, are the 2 of you ready for what we're about to do?
I'm going to cast water breathing on us. I think that's important. And on, I can choose up to 10. So the 3 of us, and I think plus the Knight Captain, the Flamekeeper, and I guess, you know, whoever seemed to be close to us when we were sort of, I'm thinking more
Closest
of like the strike team that's in the first ballista, just in case they get pulled into the water.
Rudy, we're putting a lot of faith in your strength here, but luckily I have a lot of faith in your strength. And Wrath, I expect you to be cunning and don't stop attacking when you get the chance to.
I have a question. Are they going to be surprised that you're casting spells?
We will probably have to cross that bridge when it happens.
All right.
From this point on, all further questions that the Silver Order might have for us, we're going to deal with those afterwards. For the time being, getting rid of the Duchess is our primary mission, and we are going to do our best. I will say to you two that this is going to be dangerous, and if this is the end, then I want you to know that this has been a glorious adventure to be on. And rule number 61, trust those who fight with you, bleed with you, and are prepared to die with you. And want you to know that I am willing to fight alongside you two, and it's been an honor.
I agree. I wouldn't be wanting to you boys, and if something happens, get yourself to shore, and I'll distract him. All right, just make sure you get yourself to safety. The mama bear will protect.
Rudy, don't die.
And
I haven't yet.
you both need to know that I won't let Bruce eat either of your corpses.
Oh, that's sweet.
And that's a lot.
I mean, when we started this journey, you probably would have. So that's
I probably don't have
lot.
that kind of control even, but I'm gonna put in a good word against it.
Thank you, Raph. You're a true person that you've been traveling with.
Okay. So you take out this small little sailing ship. It's enough for the three of you to manage it, and you sail out into the water. With a sign off, Gloria Hackfield gives the orders to everyone to mass out and prepare for engagement. With a final word that she says, "Look it. I'm no fisher, but I do know that sometimes you go out there and you get nothing. If we don't see you back in how long? What are we going to say?"
Give us an hour.
All right.
We will check back in within the hour. And we will reconvene.
Yeah, because how long would it take us to sail to the lighthouse, for example?
At least an hour.
Okay, so about halfway there is like
Yeah.
the middle of the. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can get pretty far out in
30
that
minutes
time,
there,
right?
30 minutes back.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll probably go
Yeah.
double time, hopefully, back.
Is that the direction that you want to sail? Like as if you're heading towards the lighthouse?
I think more off towards wherever the sort of concentrated.
Follow our nose, where the haze is thicker, where our nightmares become stronger.
All right. As you head out, you can all roll a d6.
Gosh. Arg.
Oh.
3.
2.
1.
After you give your death speech.
Yep. That's how I roll. That is how I roll. Literally.
Literally.
Oh boy.
Okay.
What's the worst that could...
21 minutes out from shore. Sailing out for 20 minutes, just as the shore of Aschaffen kind of fades into the distance. It starts to rain. And there's a low rumbling in the afternoon sky, and the sky gets dark. And there's a low rumbling in the clouds overhead. And it's not, and as the clouds break, you start to see several large fins breaking up through the water. Just some in the distance. You can all roll a perception check.
21.
23.
9.
Wow. So Rudy and Wilhelm, you see these. The larger fish folk warriors, the marrow, there's 5 of them that you spot at least. They're keeping their distance several hundred feet away, but they're watching you and they're following you.
Are you ready, boys?
I stand on the edge of the boat and do like the Captain Morgan thing where I stand like 1 foot up on the edge and using thaumaturgy, my voice booms into the great wide open sea. Duchess, you are looking for us. We are here. We call you out.
There is a voice that comes back into your mind, and it cries out, "Be careful what you conjure, small-minded caller." And it resounds in your head, beating. You shall menace me no more. It speaks back into your mind. Your cat knows no true secrets. Call to me, warlock. Serve me, and I will show you true power. I could teach you the deep magic. It responds in your mind.
A simple offering is not what I seek. I seek true power. What is it that you can show me? My Lord has shown me and given me the depths of the sea. I can traverse water as I do land. What can you offer that he cannot?
I can teach you mighty spells, and I can give you great secrets. Do you wish to prove yourself to your parents, your sister? You could wield greater power than even they. The spells that you could muster, the magic that you have, the magic that was denied you could be yours, not through any pandering, only to me.
Let's say I am intrigued by this offer.
Bruce shoots you a look.
I stay him with my hand. Even Bruce, in all of his glory, showed himself not to be a trickster, but to be a true giver. You hide in our nightmares and our minds. You are but a thought on my fleeting dreams. Show yourself. Show what you really are.
A fleeting thought. A half-remembered dream. A waking nightmare. You think that what you see in your dreams and visions is only that. But the truth is that you and all the order around you, that is the dream. The nightmare is the truth. Chaos is the natural state. You'll see and you'll learn. It will grow within you, and you will serve regardless. There is another thunderous shake in your mind, Wrath. And you see this slippery, slimy form just crest the top of the surface of the water near where the other marrows were sighted. And you just catch this glimpse of this bloated, mucus-covered, fish-like form covered in eyes all across the top of its body. And it just flittering beneath the surface, the image of it. And it says, And it replies to you, "You may sail for the shore, but by the time you get there, your friends will be dead." Come, drown in the deeps.
Rudy, I think it's time to go.
I think we should probably. Okay, see ya.
Run away!
Do we start rowing back?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Do you-
yeah. Okay.
What do you?
Before we do, can I don't know if we're in initiative yet, or I have something I want to do.
Tell me what you want to do, and I will decide if that warrants us rolling for initiative.
I want to cast Enlarge Reduce, and I want to enlarge myself so that way I can paddle faster.
Okay, yeah. No, that won't put us into initiative, but that's totally fine. You cast Enlarge Reduce on yourself.
And I groan. I'm like, let's go, boys. Start paddling.
I'm suddenly pushed to the very, very edge of the ship.
Like a motor.
Did they see this creature, or was it all in my mind?
It was all in your mind, but Rudy, as you grow in size, you hear another voice call into your mind. Yes, you grow. You will grow and spread that power, you spreader of chaos. You will break the water. Yes, cut through that water. Let it flow. It goes all round, unceasing. You know the power of the water. You know the devastation it brings. Cut through the water. Watch them drown.
Ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about, but no. And I just start paddling as fast as I can.
Wilhelm, as Rudy begins to paddle and Wrath is calling out, what are you doing?
I am getting my trusty crossbow out, and I am just equipping it, getting it ready with bolts, and I am, like a hawk, eyeing every movement I see with my one good eye on the surface of the water, getting my crossbow ready to fire.
Okay. With that, we can roll for initiative.
Woo! Four.
13?
14.
Okay. Okay, get that in order. So we're because we're going to be moving. I'm assuming, Rudy, you are constantly paddling. So we're going to run this theater of the mind style because you're going to be moving a lot as things catch up. But as you begin paddling, the water and the waves send up a crash, and as the wind picks up and the water is possessed with a mind of its own, it washes up and crashes across the boat. Each of you, I need a strength saving throw.
No.
And we get the D4 with it as well?
Yep.
Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, goodness.
17.
12.
Okay. 12?
16.
Okay. The wave rushes up, hits the boat, and Wilhelm, you reach for the edge, and you are knocked 20 feet off the boat as the wave crashes up. And you land in the water with a splash. As you do, the water itself is thick with slime in the water.
No, not again.
And it feels like thick, and you feel a contamination within it. But it is your turn. What are you going to do?
I'm going to just, as soon as I touch the water, I'm just going to start power swimming as fast as and hard as I can back to the boat. I don't want to be in this water.
You would need to basically dash, because to get back up and on. Do you want to spend your whole turn doing that?
I'll use my bonus action, my cunning action, to dash.
Okay, so to pull yourself up onto the boat out of the water, give me a strength check or an athletics check.
That's going to be a 6.
It's going to be a 6. Okay, you pull yourself up onto the boat, but you land prone as you do so. So it's like it's a sloppy pull. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to get on a boat from outside of water, but like you are not on your feet. You slough yourself up and land prone inside the boat.
All right. I think I'm just going to use my action to ready an action that if something comes up to the boat, I'm going to stab it with my rapier. But other than that, I'm just laying in the boat, wet and scared.
Wrath, what are you going to do?
I want to. We want to send this signal, right? That things are moving, and Rudy's really busy with her firebolt. So right now, there's nothing in the water, right? That I can't see anything, or
there are at least 5 marrow in the water, probably about anywhere from 200 to 300 feet away from you.
I'm gonna shoot an Eldritch Blast. I mean, I only have the range of 120 feet though, so
okay. So they're beyond the range of your Eldritch Blast right now.
Then I'm gonna cast Light on a like a rock or some kind, and throw it as and just launch it into the air.
Okay, and it's then going to land in the water. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you launch it in the air. So you throw the rock out, lands in the water, and as it goes down, you can see there's a deep shadow underneath the boat.
Cool.
Something really large. Yeah, you throw it up, but if you throw the rock up, it's not going to stay up. It's going to fall and land in the water.
I'm trying to think of something like I want to try to imitate the firebolt into the air. Like how far away are we from the shore?
Enough that they would see the light of your boat, but it would look like someone. It wouldn't look like the firebolt, right? They would know that you're there, though.
Then that's what we needed.
Okay. There is a crash and something. This boat has an AC of 15 and 100 hit points. And something smashes into it. And it's a crash. There's just this crash, and the boat takes 20 points of damage. And just the splinter of wood as it crashes upward.
My friends, there's something underneath us. If you didn't know that already.
All right. Rudy, what are you going to do?
I'm paddling. My alarm's wrong. I'm like, boys, let's get to shore. In my big deep voice. I'm just like, ooh.
Give me a strength. So I'm gonna say, just for illustrative purposes, we're gonna play a little bit with time here and say that maybe, you know, the rounds are not exactly 6 seconds as we're paddling along, because you're trying to cover a large distance. Mm-hmm. So give me a strength check and we'll see how much progress you make in the chase.
Strength check.
Or athletics, yeah.
Or athletics? Okay. Oh, better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have advantage because I'm enlarged too.
Yeah.
25.
Okay, that is so. I'm going to basically say that in order to get to shore, I need to see at least 5 successful skill checks of paddling or moving the boat before the boat obviously is destroyed. With that check result, I'm going to give you 2 successes. Okay.
Nice.
So strong.
So
Nice.
strong.
Yes. All right. So in the midst of this,
I like deep voice, Rudy.
yeah, several of the marrow, several of the marrow, they swim up and they start closing in on your position, and they themselves have spearhook harpoons, and they throw them at the ship itself.
Hey, that's our plan.
There are, and 4 of these harpoons hit onto the ship, and the marrow grab onto the other end. So there's 4 marrow. They're each about 50 feet away from the boat now. They've swam up, and they've got the harpoon, and they're trying to pull you in the opposite direction, away from shore. They're trying to pull you further out to sea.
We need like opposing.
And are they
strength
roped?
checks?
Are they roped like harpoons, or are they actually like, physically right up to the boat?
The harpoons have gone through the hull of the ship and have like crashed into it, and they look like they're made of like the bones of a sea creature, and this thick line of like seaweed like reinforced rope and chain, and it's dug into the side of the ship, the 4 of these harpoons, and they're pulling against Rudy as she does so. So with that, we will go to the top of the round with Wilhelm. What are you going to do?
I prop myself up, and I'm going to aim my crossbow at how many harpoons stuck into the boat?
There's 4 harpoons stuck into the boat. So they're both through the hull of the ship, and then there's creatures that are slightly under the water that are pulling you backwards.
How far away are the creatures?
The creatures are definitely within range of your crossbow. So you could shoot them off. The harpoons are connected with like, so there's the kind of this bone harpoon and the seaweed line that is then being pulled taut by the creature.
So I'm gonna prop myself up in the boat, and I'm gonna use steady aim to aim at one of the creatures in the water.
Okay.
So I try to line my crossbow up, and I'm trying to follow the line of the harpoon. Like I follow the seaweed line into the water. I line it up, and
it occurs to you that the line could also be a target as you line your shot up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot. Is there any conceivable way that I can try to line it up and shoot more than one, like through one? Like,
no, they're all kind of going out. They're all pulling from different angles.
Thought I'd see if I could do a wild trick shot.
And the harpoons are
fair.
like embedded in the wood of the ship.
Yeah.
It's itself.
I'm gonna try to shoot to break one of the lines.
Okay,
Using
go for it.
steady aim.
Nice.
I crit.
Woo!
Yes!
With that, boom! Roll the damage.
Nice.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna sneak attack.
Yeah.
The rope didn't see it coming. That's going to be 20 damage.
The line snaps, and it actually, it's so taut you can actually hear this like twang noise as it breaks, and as you see it snap back, there's like a spray of blood as the broken line smashes into whoever was pulling it. And with that, the boat lurches forward. Wrath, it is your turn. What are you going to do?
Following suit, seeing Wilhelm's clever attack, I'm gonna take an Eldritch Blast shot at one of the lines.
Nice.
I get a 18 to hit
It's a hit.
for 8 damage.
It's not enough to break the line, but it's heavily damaged.
Another 18 to hit. My second blast trying to hit the line again, and I do another 10 damage.
The line snaps and breaks away.
So just and now I'm very proud of myself.
Rudy, what are you gonna do?
I look back at you and I'm like, nice.
There's 2 lines that are still attached to the boat.
Okay.
Because there's 2 lines still attached pulling against you, I'm gonna say that they're still giving you disadvantage, which canceled out the advantage that you have because you're enlarged.
Okay.
Athletic, if you want to continue paddling the boat, or you could do something else.
No, I want to continue. I'm gonna get us. That's my
Okay.
roll.
Roll them in a giant
Rudy.
tug of war.
So athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, 23.
Yeah, that is another success. You haul the boat forward. You're getting closer to shore. And
Can I action surge? And do it again?
yeah, for sure.
That's 20.
All right, you are getting close to shore. You're so close enough to the shore that you can actually see the Silver Order Knights. Several of them have gotten out because there are several creatures that are already scuttling along the shore of the village. There are about 24 fish folk with spears and shields that are rushing up out of the water, and amongst them are several large crab-like creatures that are scuttling out of the water with seaweed and shells coming off of them as they scuttle forward, are already battering and smashing at the silver, with the creatures already drawn out and as if they knew the Silver Order was there.
So much for a flawless plan.
We can still make chowder tonight, boys. Let's go.
All right.
Deeper.
With that, there's another crack on the boat. The boat takes another 22 points of damage as a smash goes up it, and you see this, and you see then another, another sort of, Rudy, an image appears in your mind of that there is as you see this for a moment, Rudy, there is a sudden flash as a massive anchor flies off the back of the ship and off the boat and lands in the ocean with a thud, as if it's holding it down. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
And I get the D4 on this, right?
Yeah.
19.
Okay, you made your saving throw against phantasmal force. There's like an image of the Duchess. You recognize it as the illusion in your mind of like the Duchess is trying to mentally weigh you down with like an anchor that you thought would be there, but you've resisted the effect.
You can't weigh me down. I am Rudy Whitaker. I'm getting these boys ashore.
All right, top of the round with Wilhelm.
Wilhelm pops up again, and this time I'm not going to use... No. Without steady aim, I don't get sneak attack. I need to snap these ropes. I am going to use steady aim.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot at the next rope. I'm going to try my trick again. That's going to be 18.
It's a hit.
Oh, my last one was a crit, and I forgot to double my damage. It was way more, but anyway.
Da-da-da-da-da.
23.
Woo! The line snaps and breaks.
Yeah, and then I duck back down.
Wrath?
I again following Wilhelm's lead, but I quickly looking at the shore. How do the the Silver Order look?
They're holding the line. The Silver Order are trying to make sure that these creatures don't destroy your ballista.
Thank you. That's very
Important.
kind of them.
Then I turn my attention to the line. I'm going to take a shot. Oh no, I only get a 12 to hit.
It's a miss, I'm afraid.
Oh, maybe it'll hit the creature. 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
Really need that damage. 13 damage.
Not enough to destroy the line, I'm afraid.
So just pelting into this line, but it's still holding.
Yeah, still holding. Rudy, it's going to be with disadvantage again, but again canceled out because you're enlarged.
All right. And so I'm gonna roll this, but can Houdini give help to Wilhelm or no?
Yeah, but Wilhelm's generating his own advantage, so he's doing okay.
I mean, if you no, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I should use Bruce.
I can get two.
He doesn't
I
like
can
the
get
water.
2 shots off if I have something else giving me advantage, rather than using my bonus action to give myself advantage.
Okay, go for it.
Those are options.
So Houdini, I wave him off to you and I say, Houdini, do something. And then I go, 15.
That is not enough. You don't make enough progress towards shore this turn, so it's going to be another round of attacks on the boat.
No, the boat.
All you can roll me a d6.
3.
3.
6.
Okay. Good news though, you are past the fire line.
Okay. This is a win.
Okay. You're past the fire line, but here's the first thing that happens. There is a smash on the boat, and it takes another 20 points of damage.
It's really falling apart now.
Wilhelm,
Uh-oh.
you hear a whisper in your mind. If you will not be the one to lead, then you will be the one to serve. Make a wisdom saving throw.
I got a 15.
You just made your saving throw against enslavement by 1.
I serve no one except Rudy. I serve Rudy. I serve no one but Rudy.
Exactly.
All right. With that, Wilhelm, it is your turn.
A little owl perches on the line, allowing me to line my shot up better so that I can see where my shot's going. Also, I imagine Houdini somehow is giving me signals about the wind direction.
He waves his little...
Yeah. So I now have advantage, and I'm going to shoot at the line one last time. Critting again.
Woo!
Nice.
Wow. So I assume I snap the line. That's...
Yeah. With a loud smash. Wrath, what are you going to do?
I still have one more shot.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Sorry.
Yeah.
So are there still creatures or...
There's creatures on shore.
So I snap the last line. Our boat jolts forward because that's the last line that we have. I turn the crossbow and I kind of set my arm on Rudy's shoulder so that she's kind of helping me aim. And I'm going to fire at just one of the creatures on the docks.
All right, go for it.
16 to hit.
It's a hit.
That'll be 7 damage.
Okay. You managed to shoot one of them down. Wrath, what are you going to do?
I also just spin, and over Rudy's other shoulder, I begin to let loose Eldritch Blasts. Sending Bruce that way, I don't know if he can make it to anything, Yeah, I mean, how far away are we, would you say?
Close enough that you could shoot your Eldritch Blast on people on the shore.
Cool. I crit my first shot.
Yes!
Amazing. Doing 23 damage.
Nice.
And I take my second shot, only a 12.
That is still enough to hit.
Woo. Doing 6 damage.
Okay. So here's where we're at. I need to set up a very complex battlefield. Okay, Rudy, one last check. Can you bring us on into shore?
And is it advantage now since we have no harpoons?
Correct.
Woo! All right. Oh, 19 plus 27.
Okay, that is way more than enough. Way more than enough to bring you on into shore.
I feel the tension release, and I'm just like, oh yeah, here we go, boys, we're getting in.
Okay.
What else is in that enlarge? It seems to have raised your spirits. It's
All
a
right.
very good spell.
So let's survey the scene here and see where we are at. You might want to update the hit points on your tokens, you guys.
I added the aid.
Okay.
Oh, that.
Okay, so this is the situation that you're seeing right now.
There's a crab, people. Oh, man.
Okay, so as you pull into shore, you can see that there are dozens of fish folk swarming the docks. There are some coming up from aside from the shore. And you can see countless swimming bodies coming up. More and more are going to be coming, and already they are swarming the positions of the Silver Order around the ballistas. A group of the knights have come out from one of the houses to defend Wilhelm's ballista, and they're holding off several. But there are two massive chitinous covered crab creatures here and here that are slowly moving their way towards the position. And behind you there is a looming shadow. But as you pull into the dock, Rudy, you still need to send the signal though to light the boats. Just a reminder,
Yep.
Okay? And as you pull into the dock, coming up behind you is a horrific creature. We're going to keep the same initiative order that we've been in, but as you pull up, this creature with a maw of the fathomless depths and eyes that see through time and space, a slippery mucus covered body emerges from the surface, eyes aglow and tentacles flailing up beside you. This is the Duchess.
It worked. The bait worked.
With that, the Duchess brings her full strength to bear, and with a surge of psychic energy bursts out from it, and you can all make a wisdom saving throw.
Forget your D4.
Don't forget we have bless still, right? Or do we?
Yeah.
Or yeah? Okay.
21.
21.
11.
Wilhelm, you take 7 points of psychic damage from the keening wails of this creature, and then the Duchess is going to take her actual turn, and with a power that speaks out, she cries out, Rudy, into your mind, one word: serve. Make a wisdom saving throw.
12.
Rudy, you are enslaved.
Ah!
You are magically charmed by the Duchess, and you are under the Duchess's control. You cannot take reactions, I get to decide what you do. Now, that's just the way that it's going to be until someone can shake you out of it.
Run away!
Come closer. Let me hug you.
Okay. So Wilhelm, you turn around and you just see this psychic energy emanate from the Duchess, and it radiates into Rudy's mind, and like her eyes glaze over and start to glow with this octarine light, and she just kind of turns her head, and like a little bit of like drool starts to come out of her mouth as the axes raise up of the still enlarged Rudy.
Uh-oh.
So,
I'm still large.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah. Wilhelm, it's your turn.
So enlarged Rudy's right there in front of me, looking all creepy. I look at her and I say, "I apologize, ma'am." And I'm just going to does this feel like something I could shake her out of?
You can certainly try.
I use my action to punch Rudy in the face.
Make an attack roll.
Right in the middle.
I get a 15 to hit.
All right, you punch Rudy in the face. Roll a d4.
1.
Rudy, you take 1 damage.
Do I have my AC's 18?
What did he get to hit?
15?
I got a 15.
Oh, then you missed.
Oh, wait.
you missed. Yeah, you missed Rudy.
Like, oh.
Let me,
It punches and it just like solidly hits my chest.
Yeah.
let, me,
Nothing happens.
let me add my bless to that I forgot about.
Yeah.
As 17. No.
So that still misses.
Wait. Do I add anything to this roll?
No, Rudy's trying to defend herself, but she's just being controlled now.
But I defend myself by flexing my giant muscles.
Okay, wait. I am within 5 feet of her, and there are no other enemies within 5 feet of me. That just means I get sneak attack. That doesn't mean I get advantage.
That's correct. Yeah. I mean, you could shoot her with your crossbow.
Can I try to aim for? Ah, man.
You're super lucky.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna use the luck point. I'm gonna use the
All
luck
right.
point. I'm gonna use the luck
Your luck points.
Wilhelm, are you punching Rudy?
Wait. Add bless. Oh. That's gonna be another 17.
Sorry, I'm so strong.
All right, Wilhelm. Anything else, buddy?
I hop off the boat and onto the docks. And
All right.
I turn back to Wrath and I'm like, I can't shake her out of it. I tried punching her and it seems to do nothing.
Well, you did miss. Yeah, so the Duchess is going to use her first legendary action to swipe you with her tentacle tail. Wilhelm, so that is going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
For 15 bludgeoning damage.
All right, I'm gonna half that. As I try to duck out of the way, it only kind of gets me.
Alrighty. Wrath, it is your turn.
I want to reach into Rudy's mind and say, you do not serve anyone but your children. We are your friend. That creature is your foe. Anything?
Are you going to... just reaching into her mind alone will not be enough. She is under the overwhelming influence of this unfathomably powerful psychic creature. But if you do something that uses an action, though, and a little bit more than speaking, then maybe we could give her a chance.
You will not serve this creature. You will serve me. And I cast suggestion.
Okay. I'm going to say, Rudy, you can... Okay, so Rudy, first of all, Rudy, you make a saving throw against Wrath's suggestion spell.
Okay.
And if you fail the save, I'm going to say that you break out of it.
So we're saying
I'm
it's roll
standing
low.
like she's towering over me, and I go, "Hey,
Yeah.
look at me! I'm in charge."
It's too bad I'm blessed. I'm sorry. What's
I'll tell you when you roll it.
well with it. So 11 plus 2, but I don't know what I'm what am I saving?
Save is DC 16.
Yeah, but what am I rolling?
Oh,
wisdom.
Sorry,
that's
wisdom.
plus 0. So yeah. No, I failed.
All right, so you use a suggestion spell to break her out of the enslavement.
So Rudy, for the next 8 hours, you will serve me. Now kill that thing.
I'm in the same position, but I just turn around and now I'm like we're making different master.
Rudy's poor little mind. Just getting
Rudy
dominated.
smash.
That was awesome, Joe. That's so good. All right, with that, with that, seeing this, the Duchess responds in horror as Rudy turns around, and she's gonna smash Rudy with her tail, getting a 24 to hit you, Rudy.
Yes.
And that's gonna be 16 bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
Oh.
Rudy, it is your turn. You are not enslaved. Well, I'm gonna.
Like, yeah, how does it layer? Because like,
I'm
if
gonna
I
say
lose
that
suggestion or
yeah, I'm gonna say that Rudy, make a wisdom saving throw, another one, because the Duchess attacked you.
20.
Okay, so what we'll say is that if the suggestion does go down, you have broken out of it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I turn around and I see the Duchess there, and I'm just gonna go ham.
yeah.
Do it.
I'm gonna get Houdini to help me out on the first one. So let's do this. 21 to hit.
It's a hit.
And I get that. 11 damage.
Okay.
Nice.
1, 2. Oh. 23 to hit.
A hit.
13 damage.
Okay.
And then let me just double check what I want to do. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. And that's 21 to hit.
Also a hit.
Nice.
And 9 damage.
Alrighty. She is not liking that one bit. She will spend her last legendary action to tail swipe you one more time, Rudy, getting a 19 to hit.
Shield.
Alrighty. Top of the round, there is a swirling melee on the docks as the fish folk and the paladins fight each other off. Unless you intervene, it will continue at a stalemate. Okay, but this Chul is going to saunter over to Wilhelm.
Well,
And is going to try to pinch you. Pinch.
good luck.
Getting a natural 1 on the first pincer and a 15 on the second pincer.
I dance out of the way of those attacks.
Okay. The other Chul, which is further up the top, starts smashing into the wall of the boathouse as the fishfolk continue to swarm. And what I'm going to say is that the Knights of the Silver Order are holding their position, and just so that I don't have to spend a ton of time managing tokens, they're slaying many of the fishfolk, but more are swimming up from the water. So I'm not going to be too precise about tracking that, if that's okay with everybody.
It seems like it's a lot is happening around us, but we got our own things to deal with.
Yeah.
One goes down, another one takes its place.
Incidentally, the signal to light the boats on fire didn't happen, so they haven't been lit on fire yet.
Whoops.
We'll get to it.
I'll get to it.
I'm sure we'll get to it. Rudy, keep killing. No signal. No, it's not my fault. I don't think.
I forgot.
Okay. A grasping tide of water reaches up from from around the Duchess and smashes across the boat and the docks. All of you can make a strength saving throw.
Oh.
Woo!
Three.
15?
14.
14? 3?
18.
Wrath, you are pulled into the water. Splish!
Oh! No, Wrath!
You are pulled into the water, and now it is the Duchess's turn. She is going to use her enslave on you, Wrath. Make a wisdom saving throw.
If she enslaves me and I've enslaved Rudy, does she enslave Rudy by by natural order of hierarchy, the tier of control?
Stop saying things.
Okay, I'm going to.
Ideas.
So I'm making a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Oh no. You're wise, right?
25.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
He's wise. No one enslaves me. I am enslaved to a cat. I will never fall for those tricks of a simple fish.
Cats eat fish, right?
Yeah. The gift of the depths.
All right.
Was just bestowed upon me.
With that, then the Duchess is going to move to here. And Rudy, you used your action to shield yourself, so you get no reaction.
Yeah, my reaction.
Yeah.
Well, the shield is still up.
Yeah. Alrighty. We now go to Wilhelm.
I'm going to battle it out with this crab person. So I pull out my rapier and I assume the fencing position as if I'm going to politely fence with this beast. But then I leap forward and try to strike it true.
Alrighty.
That's going to be a 21 to hit.
You get through its armored plates. Ka-chink!
And there's no other creature within 5 feet of me, so I'm going to sneak attack.
Okay.
That's going to be a 24 damage.
Nice.
And I pull out my crossbow and I fire it at one of its eyes. Doesn't matter which one. Pick whatever one you'd like. $24 to hit.
Nice.
A hit.
For an additional 7 damage.
Nice. Okay. With that, the Duchess will spend her... anything else you want to do, Wilhelm, sir?
No, I'm good.
She is going to use her legendary action to tail swipe Wrath.
No!
Getting a 24 to hit.
That really hits.
For 15 bludgeoning damage.
So at this point, I have to make a con save on suggestion.
Yeah, although it doesn't really matter unless
Like, do I have to keep, like, I was trying to use it in the sense of...
I think now you've broken the effect conclusively, so you don't need to worry about suggestion
So I'll
anymore.
just absorb the physical damage with my face.
Ow! That hurts.
It's a good observer.
It is your turn.
I'm going to pop out of the water, and through the ring of spell storing, I want to cast Ivard's Black Tentacles over the creature that Wilhelm is fighting. To turn
All right.
tide. So I want to try to capture as many of the fish folk and primarily Crab Boy over there.
Sounds good to me. Let's get the spell effects.
So I kind of like just shoot out of the water with my gift of swimming. I like to think I dolphin out and kind of do like a little like jump in the air, and then I
yeah, I love it.
point my ring over there, and a swirling darkness starts to appear, a rip in time and space
Of licking and slurping cattails, which it's awful.
And because I'm thinking, like, if we can free up the ballistas, then the Silver Order can actually take the fight to this.
Right now, the Silver Order is doing everything they can to actually hold off the fish folk. They're not able to fire the ballistas under the current circumstances.
We will turn the tide.
Alrighty. With that, Wrath, do you want to move?
I'm going to try to swim back up into the boat. Can I get back in the boat?
Yes, you have a swim speed, so you absolutely can. That actually takes everyone out of range, so I guess the Duchess is going to use her legendary action to smack Rudy. She only gets a 14 to hit, though. She's got reach on her attack. So, Rudy, it is your turn.
I realized that I didn't roll concentration on my enlarge, so I'm just going to do that now. 18.
You're good.
I'm still large, Rudy.
Large and in charge.
And
of your own mind.
Yeah, it's all you now. It's all you.
No one else in there at the moment. Oh my gosh, all Rudy. All right.
Deep voice Rudy.
I'm gonna use war magic, so I get a the cantrip, the firebolt in the air.
Awesome.
Signal, and then I get to make one weapon attack. So I'm going to jump on the Duchess.
All right.
And hit her with an attack, and Houdini's gonna come along with me.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Nice.
26.
All right, you're fighting on top of this whale-like creature in the water. However, so you can make your attack.
28 to hit.
It's a hit.
All right. 12 damage.
Awesome.
Nice.
Every little bit counts.
Anything else, Rudy?
Nope, I gotta hang on for dear life, boys. Get those blisters going.
You are in the water. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, goodness.
Yep. I actually need you to make 2 Constitution saving throws.
Okay.
Has our Aqua Expurgo worn off?
Mm-hmm.
Has it been too long, or is it still active?
It would be long gone.
Yeah,
now.
it's gone, right? Okay.
So 19 for one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I add bless to that, right?
The 19 is more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second one, 27.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty.
Nice.
So the Duchess will use her last legendary action to attack you, Rudy, getting a 17 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. With that, cool. Each of you can make a wisdom saving throw.
22. Yes.
14.
17.
All right, a wave of psychic energy comes out amidst from the Duchess, but you all manage to resist it. On her turn, the Duchess now is enraged, has a Rudy on top of her, and is going to lay into you. So Rudy, she makes 3 attacks with her tentacles against you.
Hey,
You got this. You got this.
Getting a 26, a 20. A 27 and a 21.
I'm gonna do a shield for one of the last one, but I take 2 hits.
Okay. You take a total of 24 bludgeoning damage, and you need to make 2 Constitution saving throws.
Oh boy. Here we go. 23.
nice.
15.
Okay, you have failed 1.
No!
You gain 1 level of contamination. Roll a d6.
5.
Okay, so you don't mutate. Just 1 level of contamination.
A casual no mutate.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna mark it as exhaustion, so I know, but it's contamination.
Yeah.
So it begins.
Oh wait, I also have to make
begins.
2 concentration.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Is it saves?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. 24 and 17.
Okay, your spell is still in effect, and the Duchess is going to start swimming away. So she was there.
Hey!
We did send the signal up, right? Yeah, you did that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, but she's 40 feet back that way.
With Rudy on her?
Rudy isn't grappling her. Rudy was just standing on her, and I'm gonna say that she can just swim out under and leave Rudy in the water, basically.
He's slippery.
Oh, all right. With that, we go to the top of the round with Wilhelm.
Wilhelm's still fighting this crab thing. Is it entangled in the black tentacles?
I should make a check for it. It is ensnared by the black tentacles, so it would take 3d6 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
And the other 3 fish folk are killed by the black tentacles.
Yeah, so they all make a DC 16, or I guess the ones that survive.
Yeah, none of them make that.
Only 7. I only rolled 7 cold damage. What is it?
Every little bit helps.
But if it failed its saving throw, it's restrained.
Yep. Wilhelm.
All right.
Yeah, you got a restrained target right in front of you.
Yes. And he is going to we're having crab tonight. And I'm going to drive my blade into it. 23 to hit. And that's going to be 25 damage.
Oh, gosh. Nice.
And then
Nice hit.
I'm going to fire my crossbow at it. $24 to hit for an additional 9 damage.
It is slain.
Yeah.
So so that last crossbow. So I end up, as it's entangled in the black tentacles, I drive my blade like right through its kind of chest area. I guess it's kind of like riled up, and I drive it, and then I take my crossbow, and I am going to shoot it right in the eye, and the crossbow just kind of goes through its head and blows out its exoskeleton. And there's crab meat.
Gross.
There's just crab meat everywhere.
Don't eat that crab meat. Wrath, it is your turn. What are you gonna do?
Rudy, are we gonna have? Do you want to stop the Duchess?
I think if we get the ballistas, that might be the best way about it.
What about this? And I pull out the immovable rod, and I hand it to you.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay.
You know what to do.
Do I?
I don't think she does.
And wait, who's around me? I want to run and jump and grab Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thunder step over to the Duchess.
Okay. Boom. You thunderstep over to the Duchess. There's no one around you to damage, unfortunately.
No.
Okay.
I blew up the boat.
I think I know what to do.
All right, Rudy, what are you going to do with this immovable rod?
I'm going to take
and so
the immovable
we just
rod.
appear over top of it.
She has a mouth, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive inside the Duchess's mouth. As
Okay.
giant Rudy. And I gotta play.
All right.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to leave it for the night.
Yes! Yeah! Same page.
You made it happen, Wrath. You made it happen.
On that image of the two of them just disappearing in a crash of thunder, appearing above the Duchess with dive of the immovable rod into the gullet of the fish.
It's not getting away.
It's gonna be great.
Where did
It's
Wrath
not
go?
getting away.
Wow.
And with that, that's where we'll end for the night. As always, a massive thank you to our amazingly creative players, Jill, Joe, and Kelly.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for everything he's doing behind the scenes, and for keeping us all on track. And a big thank you to Monty for running such a wonderful beginning to the epic battle with the Duchess. It is proving to be quite a show, and I'm excited to see how this continues. So thank you, Monty.
Thank you, Monty. Thank you, everyone. And in our game tonight, we use a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists. They have graciously given us permission to use these in our stream games, and I want you to know that you can use them at your table as well. We encourage you to check out and support these amazing creators. Roll20 with the virtual tabletop. Custom maps were made by Monty using Dungeon Draft and Wonder Draft.
This one's actually by Neutral Party tonight.
By Neutral Party, amazing. The Duchess's Graveyard. Based on cartography by Dyson Logos, player character artwork by Jeremy Cole, NPC token artwork by Matthias Bourbon, monster token artwork by from the D&D 5e Monster Manual and other source books, spell effects tokens by Gabriel Picard, and music by Tabletop Audio.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts, including the Dusk Wardens, yes, 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 and way bigger than ducks. Check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Our videos and live streams are made possible thanks to the incredible generosity of our Patreon community. For the past couple of weeks, Joe was having a technical difficulty with his microphone, and it was thanks to the amazing support of our patrons that we were able to get him a brand spanking new microphone to fix that problem. Thank you so much. That is just one example of how our patrons make this show possible. We wouldn't be able to, sometimes there's some problems in this world that are best solved by throwing money at them, and having that amazing support and generosity from our patrons means that we can fix these problems and produce the highest quality work that we can possibly do so. So thank you so much to our patrons. If you enjoy the work that we see if you enjoy the work that if you are enjoying the work that we create, please consider joining our community at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
Also, remember that we have a phenomenal Discord community that is exclusive for our patrons. So if you are joining our Patreon, you can join us on Discord and you can chat with us. The four of us are always, well, we're mostly in there quite as often as we can be. And Kyle's in there as well. And we also do Monty and I do monthly writers' rooms on the Discord. And we
got our Q&A for patrons on Thursday.
Yes, we do Q&As for our patrons, which then get uploaded to YouTube. But if you join our Patreon, you can submit questions for the Q&As. You can join us in the writer's room to brainstorm new scripts and ideas. And you could just chat with us. Lately, I've just kind of been chatting about TV shows and video games in there. But come join us and have all the fun.
And of course, we post new videos every Thursday on YouTube. Check it out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. So tune in next week to see the epic conclusion to the battle with the Duchess. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube.
And of course, we are always having more coming in the world of Drakkenheim. Of course, the Kickstarter for Dungeons of Drakkenheim, based on the events of Season 1, is coming in June. Be running through June and July. We're so excited with some amazing stuff. Please sign up for the mailing list. If you, those on the mailing list got to see some amazing previews of some of the artwork for the book that's coming. Yeah. So please get on that. Drakkenheim.com. We're only sending maybe one more letter out before the Kickstarter begins. It'll notify you when it goes live. So check that out. Anna really helps us stay in touch with you and gives you some cool previews as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in the shadows of Drakkenheim.